What's up, everybody? ShonnyDman here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great, and welcome back to another Nerd Talk episode with another special guest. I am very excited, as per usual, to have these guests on. So, get us kicked off and started. Tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alan. I am a cosplayer and a photographer um, based in Texas. I mostly do conventions in Texas. I really want to travel outside of Texas for conventions, though, so that's definitely on my bucket list. I've been cosplaying on and off again since 2012. It's been a good journey, and I've learned a lot and made a lot of connections in between. And I'm happy to be here today.
Okay. So you've been cosplaying since 2012?
Yes. Yes.
What was your first cosplay?
That's a good question. This was so long. I think my first cosplay was Lauryn from Cardcaptor Sakura.
I probably wouldn't know who that is. So,
Yeah, it's a classic. So he is, well, they just have a new season last year, I believe, or a couple years ago. But Cardcaptor Sakura, he is the main protagonist's boyfriend.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're like the, I don't know, 10th person out of Texas that I've had on to do this. And so this is, y'all are all over the place. Um I'm trying to think, who did I have on the other week? Can't even think of the name now. I'm sure it'll come to me later. But yeah, there's been like a ton of you there from Texas, the Texas area that I've had on. Um, so 2012 was the first time you started. What was that the same year you went to your first convention, or was that like a little bit later?
I think my first convention was at the end of the year with my cosplay group. So, well, I actually did another cosplay for that, but so basically, I started cosplaying at the beginning of 2012, I believe, with a cosplay group that just like randomly posted on, I don't know, when we have this, well, mostly 10 years ago, we had this kind of like forum, like discussions, like Facebook groups pretty much. And then they're like, oh, I want to do this cosplay group for these conventions. I'm like, that sounds cool. I'll join them. And then, so that was my first conventions in December of 2012, and it's called Winter Convention or something.
Okay. How long was that? Because I know usually some conventions last like 3 days, some last a little bit longer. Is that like your typical 3 day
Yeah, I
weekend?
think yeah, I think it's a typical 3 days weekends. It's actually a little bit different though, because that conventions is in Asia. I moved here 7 years ago, so
Oh.
conventions in Asia, I think is so much smaller than what we have here. And 10 years ago, oh, we didn't even want to know. Like 10 years ago, anime conventions in Asia is like at level
That must
compared
have
to
been
what we
like
have here.
a huge thing. You know, you in Asia is very small, then you go to your first one here and it's like massive.
Definitely, definitely. I remember when I first came here and my first convention here, I was like, why do we have different events? Because we don't have it in Asia. All we have in Asia, for convention is just like a big stadium with every single vendors on that. Like everything is all over the place. We don't have rooms for panelists. So I'm just like, cool. And you have rooms.
So pretty small then. That's interesting. I know there's like other countries that does cosplaying. Um so the ones in Asia, what were those like?
Um, okay, so I would say the basic constructions would be you have a super big stage,
Mhm.
and then they will have like a space in between for audience to watch the stage. And you would have like guest speakers, guest cosplayer from different countries or even domestic. And then they will have like scattered vendors all over the place. Like you can take up the stall and they can sell the vendors pretty much ticket for those who want to sell at the conventions. And then they will just dress up and have fun. that's pretty much it. Like we don't have anything like panel. We don't have anything that people could share the experience pretty
Hmm.
much. Yeah, that was 10 years ago. I don't know if that had changed, but I think it's still the same.
So did you have a lot of friends go to those conventions with you?
Oh, definitely. That's the part that make cosplay stand out for me because I make a lot of friends, like a lot of friends. The cosplay group that I mentioned that went to my first convention with me, we're actually still friends like 10 years later. I just met them last year. So I think cosplay is a really great way to make connections and it could last you a lifetime long. You'd never know.
Oh yeah. So since 2012 you've been doing this. What's all some of the cosplays that you've made, or at least that you've done?
What's the question again?
Since 2012, what are all the cosplays that you've done?
Ooh, ooh, it's quite a lot. So I cosplayed from 2012 to 2017 and then take a break from 2017 to 2021, I believe. So that's where I moved here and settled everything down. Since then I've done so I was just divided up two series. So Gintama, Okita Sogo, Kagura, um, what else? Noragami, like all the classics. Yukine from Noragami and K projects. I did three characters from that. Love Live as well. I did Umi. Ooh, there's actually quite a lot. And then there's like random fandoms that I did that nobody knows about. Yeah, like a lot, a lot. I think I did quite a lot.
Okay. What are all the conventions that you've been in Texas? And then second part to that is what are some ones that you want to go to that's outside of Texas?
Mm, okay, so I think I just started going to conventions, like started going to actual conventions
Oh, okay.
since last year. So I've been to IkiCon in Austin, Colossal Con in Austin as well because I'm based there. In Houston, I go to Comic Palooza last year. Anime Mastery like 3 years ago before all the stuff happens. Um, and then there's smaller conventions, which I really enjoy because like Anime Texas, oh, I love Anime Texas. They have such a nice venue and resort. I'm like, ooh, Anime Texas. I think last year was their first year, but they did really good. Like it was really organized, in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, one convention that I want to go out of state. You know what? There's Anime Expo that I really want to go. I want to
Oh,
see how's that like because everyone is all over the feed for that when it comes out. I'm like, oh my god, that's kind of exciting. But I think that's the one I want to go most so far.
okay. Okay. Because I know I do have a few people that I've had on as guests. They're going to Anime Expo.
Mm.
And then I have some who I think I have one. I may have more, but I know one for sure who is coming to Atlanta, Georgia for Dragon Con this year.
Mm.
Uh, which that should be fun. That's like she was telling me that's like a 5 day
Oh
con.
my gosh,
Yeah, it's
a 5 days con.
yep,
I was in 2 days just sleeping.
it's over Labor Day weekend. So I think it's like she said, see Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yep. And so she's gonna be there for that. I was like, oh, that's a lot of days right there. So
Yeah, I would definitely have post con depression after that, like all the fun and then boom work.
and then let's see, I have some that are going to the New York Comic Con. Uh
Cool.
I would like to go to that one day. I think that would be pretty fun. Um so what are some cosplays that you're working on right now?
Ooh, that's an exciting question. So this one, okay. So I am super excited for Hoshino Aquamarine from Oshinoko. I'm like keep craving about like 'cause every time I heard the OB and ED, I'm like, Aquamarine. So I am working on him, and my friend is doing Ruby, and then I think we're gonna go to either Delta H or Colossal Con this year. So that's the one that I'm really excited for. I am also bringing back Sailor Venus from Sailor Moon, which
Oh,
is a childhood classic of mine. So those two are the one that I'm really excited for. And then on the side, I have suddenly oh um Chi Shen from official Heaven Official Blessings.
okay. Interesting. So that should be fun because you seem very
Yeah,
excited excited for that.
I am really excited. I was listening to the ending of Oshinoko before this interview. I'm like, it's in the order.
So when you're not cosplaying, what does your free time look like, or what do you do throughout your day?
So I'm still in school. I am
Oh,
in the process of applying for a master program. So I'm studying for the test right now. That's why I'm at this copy. Um, Besides that, I do have community work, volunteer work at hospital and helping the Asian community around Austin here. And I do photography, which is a hobby of mine, and I
okay.
really enjoy doing it, especially cosplay photography. Cosplayers, I
So
love it when cosplayers.
so you do your own cosplay photography then?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, okay. What are you going to school for?
I went to school for physician assistant, healthcare. Pretty
Okay.
much, it's a professional, not like physician. So physician is right here. That's MD, and then
Hmm.
we're like mid-level provider, which is right there.
Oh, okay, okay. How much more schooling you have to do for that?
You know what? That is for the master program. That would be 2 years and 6 months, but it can
Okay.
vary depends on the school. So yeah, 2 or 3 more years, and I'll be
Oh,
done.
I'm not much of a school person myself, and so the idea of having to do school for an additional 2 to 3 years is not my
Yeah,
kind of thing. So,
yeah,
but that's just me.
definitely. I don't know. I feel like I'd rather do school than go to work. So
So
like,
tell us a little bit about your like what kind of volunteer work that you do around the Asian community there.
oh yeah, so I am with ACAT, which is the Vietnamese American community. So we do a lot of charity work like healthcare, providing healthcare for seniors, providing information for other people that are interested in, like improving their health.
Hmm.
And we also run cultural festivals. We collaborate with a lot of different societies and communities just to have like just to spread that cultural awareness around this Austin area and Houston, well, Texas in general.
Okay. Oh, how long? And you've been doing that since you've been here?
No, I just moved here 2 years ago,
Okay.
so that's where I started doing the volunteer work.
Okay. Okay. So what was it like when you first like moved here overall? Was it what was
Oh,
your experience like?
it was tough.
It
It was tough.
was just
Um,
you, wasn't it, that moved here, or did you have family move here too?
it's actually just me and my mom. So my mom doesn't speak English like at all. Like if you're an Asian and you move here with your mother who doesn't speak English, you're gonna be the translator for the rest of your life.
Right.
So when I first moved here, language is a barrier for sure. Like I remember walking into Walmart, and I'm like, excuse me, what? The lady was trying really hard to communicate with me, but I couldn't understand a word. So that is definitely one thing that makes me stop cosplaying. And resources in general is so hard to find here, in my opinion, for cosplay. Or, well, for me, who moved across from a country that is, like cosplay there is not super common or mainstream back then, but it's still pretty much accessible to us.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, when I moved here, all those resources that I had before just vanished. So I don't have a resource to look into, or I don't even know what a convention was
Mhm.
until like 3 years ago. Um, so that is really different. The cultures as well, Western and Easterns are drastically different.
Right.
We are yeah, I was really surprised that people here are really outgoing and friendly because we're here in Asia, we don't say hi to people on the street. So that's gonna be like considered kind of like weird to do because we're more like reserved kind of pretty much. That's how we were taught. So that's one thing really surprised me that people really open-minded and outgoing here.
Yeah, very much that southern hospitality that
Yeah.
the South is very much what known for. Because I remember
Mm.
going to college and I was part of a group where it was a Baptist campus ministries at the college. And so what we did was we got to spend time with international students. And so that was fun.
Oh,
And so I met people from all over the world.
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was very fun. Two of my closest friends that I met were two Vietnamese girls. Um,
Fun.
I think I'm pretty sure I still talk to one of them to this day. The other is one, she's married. I think she moved back, but we talk every once in a
Mm.
while. And so what we would do was we would have like welcome parties. So when new international students would come in, we would have like a game night and just where we'll have food, hang out, get to know them. And
That
then,
sounds so fun.
oh, it was. We played soccer with them, and it was very fun. Because I believe one day we played soccer, we had about 40 different nationalities out there playing, and it was rough
It's an
on
international match.
yeah, it was very rough too, especially like being an American, because we don't value soccer as much as the international community does. And
Okay.
so us going against international students who play soccer a lot was
I
was
can
really
see.
bad. And so I think one day we played US versus the world, and I think we lost like 8-0. And
Oh,
so it was a rough awakening
wait,
for
you live
us.
and you learn.
Yeah, you're right. But it was so much fun. And we would have every April we would have these things called international festivals. And so what we would do, we had a convention hall here, and so all the international students would bring items from their country, and they just have it lined up, and like
Oh,
buy tickets, and what you would do is you just go in and you get to learn about the countries where these students are from. They'll have like little items that you can take, and then they'll do like performances. I think there was a guy from South Korea who sang some song in Korean. I don't know what he's saying, but a lot of the Asian women were very enticed by it, and so um, I think we had a Belgian woman do a tap dancing,
mm.
and some women from Ghana did some kind of native dancing. So it was very fun. It was a very fun time getting to
Yeah.
know them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do have something like that in our college as well. So it's so fun. Like seeing different cultures just come together and celebrate each other is a really good thing. And I love the food. I love the food. I love to try food from different cultures, especially if it's homemade.
Yeah, I
That's the best
remember.
kind you can
Oh yeah,
ask for.
I never had seaweed before, but
You've never had seaweed?
not until a couple of years ago, because we were so one of the Vietnamese girls that I was friends with, our college had was like showing a Harry Potter marathon, and so we went. But first, we stopped
Mm.
off at this Korean girl's dorm room, and she made us dinner, and it was like rice, seaweed, some leftover chicken she had, and I was just like, I never had seaweed before, and I tried it. I was just like, oh, okay, this is interesting. It's an interesting taste. So
It's a new discovery for sure.
yeah.
There's this
Oh,
really good Korean rice that I love to make with seaweed if you want to try it out. So it's actually, I don't know if it's called seaweed, but it's, like these Japanese seaweed that has like spices in those.
mm-hmm.
So I usually have hot rice and those, and then I would put not bacon. What's the other one? The canned tuna in it, and just like mix it up with a little bit of soy sauce. That's like my go-to when I'm too lazy to make anything else. I think it's a really good recipe if you're lazy, to be honest.
So are you a really good cook?
Eh. If I can rate my cooking, I would rate it a 2/10.
Oh, really?
Because it's funny because I was talking with one of my guy friend the other day, and even he knows how to cook a fish, like a live fish, and how to cut it and just like make like prep the fish pretty much. But I don't. So I'm like, if you're a 4/10, I'll be a 2.
But your mom, I'm sure she's a master chef.
Yeah, she is.
So she just handles all the cooking for you then. There you go.
Well, I would say 40% of the time, since we're related. Since we're lazy, so we eat out most of the time and get like catering just so the cost is cut. But
that works. I mean, that works too. That definitely works too.
I mean, as long as I have food, I'm not complaining.
So what's your favorite food that you've liked so far?
Ooh, like
Texas has good barbecue. I don't know if you're a barbecue kind of girl.
I do like barbecue. But I was introduced to Korean barbecue, and that just easily become my top favorite.
Oh, sorry. Did it? I think I've always wanted to try Korean barbecue, but I don't think there's one like around where I live, and so I just try to find one somewhere and give it a try.
Yeah, I think it really depends on where you get it, because the meat quality and their sauce vary. It depends on the place. But general, they will have like a guideline, oh, what kind of meat that would have on the menu. And sometimes, Texas, Korean barbecues is most of the time is all you can eat. So I'm down for that.
I've been to Texas. I was there a couple of years ago visiting a friend, but I was in the Dallas area. I was because I was there on vacation and she was there. What was she there doing? She was interning at like for her college, and so like while she was doing all that, I was going to go to Austin. But she got done with her job early, and so we ended up just hanging out. But I did want to go to Austin and check that out.
Yeah,
Texas
I mean, it's a cool city.
Oh yeah, I mean Texas has some very aggressive drivers, and so you just gotta.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. I remember watching this video on people just like going in reverse on the highway. So, it's so funny. It's so funny. So this is like the entrance, and people just like, and they're another line that just go like that, and then people just like, I'm like, how do you even drive like that? But I think Austin driving is not too bad. Houston driving is a different beast.
Really?
Especially if you're around if you're around a Chinatown area when most of the people driving are elders.
Oh.
I'm like, I am happy I am coming home alive.
It's a jungle out there, so you're lucky to get home alive with all that. Oh, I'm trying to think what else is there. So other than it was just a huge cultural shock for you, just having to like do things completely different from what you did back home to here now. So did that take a while to adjust?
It does take a while to adjust. So back when I started cosplaying in Asia, in Vietnam, we didn't have much resource at all because it was 10 years ago. So what we would do for cosplay, we would actually seek professional tailors. So our costume being tailor-made, and usually we would pay a good chunk of money for that. But still compared to like big brand company that we can order from now, it's still relatively cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
and it's tailor made. And there's not a lot of tutorial going on. There's not a lot of anything going on. Photography was like you're taking it on a Nokia like 1208 with 144p quality and call it a day. Um, so that's the thing as well. So I grew up on that. That's where I wanted. That's where I seek professional help on posture because sewing. I am improving on my sewing skills, but it is relatively bad. I am not a sewer. I'm not a toilet person, so it's hard for me to make my own costume. Um, I am more into wig styling, makeup, photography, all that jazz, rather than sewing. So transforming from a country or like of like a community, you can seek professional help to a community that just started, like cosplaying being mainstream and more people getting into it. And tutorial gonna be out for people to follow. Like it's really hard to find a transition.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the only source I can find cosplays through Amazon, and I'm not a fan of their quality. So by the time doing that, with adjusting to a lot of lifestyle changes, like moving across the country and all that, it's hard for me to get back into cosplay. And the main thing is when I cosplay, the most fun thing to me is to hang out with my friends. And when I move here, I don't have any friends
Right.
to begin with. So I don't find the joy in doing it anymore until recently when I went to Ixon in 2021, 2022 with my boyfriend, which is which is with my friend, taking photos. And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of fun. This is fun. This is not bad. Maybe I'll get back into it. And I make a lot of friends along the way. In a year, I was surprised because it takes me 7 years to make 2 friends, and it took me 1 year to make like 4 or 5 friends. I am a friend making expert now. So that's what really got me back into cosplay. But I definitely say the transition is hard. Um, Basically because all the information and resources are all scattered around.
Right.
Like it's hard for you to actually see or looking for sources to get your cosplay. Because I think we don't have something like 1/3 Delusional or Doki Doki Wowo or something like that, like big brain company that offer cosplays. So it either be handmade or you bought it secondhand or from crappy Amazon. So yeah, I think that's a pretty tough transition.
Okay. So you are just basically working on like making the stuff yourself, or do you still?
Yes.
Okay, because I know there's cosplayers who are fine with like making it themselves, and then there's some who just go out and buy it. So I guess it's really just whatever you feel like.
So I think for me at the moment, I love I love it when people can make their own cosplay. But for me at the moment, making my own cosplay versus buying my cosplay is much more expensive
Mm-hmm.
because I was trying to make Damien Desmond cloak from Spy Family, I think a couple months ago, and the material itself cost me around, I would say $80, $80 to $90, because there's a lot of error and mistake and trials I need to do with my sewing, so that costs a lot more than if I just go and buy it from, let's say, AliExpress for $30.
Mm.
And there was a lot of stress and depression in between as well. So if I can, I would love to make my own cosplay, but at the moment that is a little bit hard for me to purchase the material to
Right.
make cosplay and the skills. So I would prefer to buy my cosplay and just alternate it. But for all other part like cloth making, wig, photography, makeup, for sure, I try to do it myself.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, because it's a lot. Because like even some of the friends that I have on, Instagram now that does cosplays. They'll upload their process and stuff like that, and it's just like, gotta make sure this fits, gotta make sure that fits, gotta trim this. Like it's just a
Yeah,
lot of work to make it the way you want it to look like.
it is a lot of work. Even when you buy your cosplay, oh, it doesn't fit this part, it doesn't fit that part, because this is like general measurements and it doesn't fit you exactly. So I think sewing is the super good skills I would love to have, but I was not born with it. I know that, like some people that being like naturally good at doing something. I just think sewing is just not my thing. Yeah, practice can make it better, but it's like you are born with a talent, like
Mm,
there's definitely some area that you're better than some area.
right.
And then I think a couple years ago, one of my friends actually told me, because in Asia it's kind of harsh at the moment because cosplay is turning into a business kind of thing. So a lot of criticism is going around. So like you're being critiqued a lot for your cosplay. And if so, a couple of years ago, my friend told me something. Okay, if you can make your cosplay cool, that's super great. But if you cannot make your cosplay and you're being shamed for buying your cosplay, there's nothing to be ashamed for, because you actually go to work and use that money that you work for to purchase what you want. So why is that a shameful thing? And I
Right.
think that really stuck with me. Like it doesn't matter where you get your cosplay as long as it makes you happy, because it's your work anyways.
Yeah, because I have seen that too, where I've seen some people, talk about people who make their own compared to those who buy them, and I'm like you, I'm just like, if it why does it matter? I mean, as long as you're doing something that you love, that shouldn't matter what if you made it or if you bought it. So, yeah,
Yeah. And then well, I mean, the money that you get to buy the cosplay is just like you working your
yeah,
job
yeah,
and
yeah, it's your money.
buy
So, I mean,
it.
if you want to buy your cosplay, then hey, it's your money. You can definitely do it that way.
Definitely.
Completely up to you. Um, this was fun. This was a fun conversation. I enjoyed it. I'm surprised nobody in the cafe has looked at you. So, but they're probably just in like, whatever. She can do whatever she
Yeah,
wants. I'm just gonna drink my
whatever. I mean,
coffee.
yeah, I've been in Austin before, chill.
So, how much studying you got to do today?
Just for the test. I have a test schedule at the end of July. So that's a pretty big test. So yeah, I have a study schedule for this going to be like math.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, guys. I think that is where we will end this episode for this week's episode of Nerd Talk. As per usual, it should be up on screen now. But for those who are listening on podcast, how can people follow and support you?
Yes, so my Instagram is well, Hiyo, Hiyo, Hiyo. So that is my username across every platform. HIYO and Alan. Hiyo, I think it's Hiyo, right? I'm like Hiyo, kind of like
I kept
this.
thinking Hayo.
So hi, yeah. Oh, Hiyo, like Hiyo, Alan. I also be at Colossicon Cosplay Mini this upcoming July, and I hope to see you guys there. And thank you so much for your opportunity to be on here today. That was a great conversation. I love talking about cosplay material.
No problem at all. I had a very fun time talking with you as well. As for I don't know why that keeps doing that. Okay. And so other than that, you guys, thank you guys for watching this week's episode. Be sure to go and give her a follow and just like her stuff. She does great cosplays. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video and have a great rest of your week. And just we'll catch you later. See ya.